Yo, what's good, people? This is part 68 of Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine. Witches, wizards, warlocks, magicians, magus, and magi, let us continue with the demon pacts. Now, to enter into a pact with a demon, it is first necessary to expose it, to identify its components, sensations, thoughts, behavior, to relate to muscular tension, and even treat it as a shape, a personality, and give it a magical name and sigil. By deliberately reliving a situation where that demon has overwhelmed you, you learn to understand the points of your relationship to the demon, and how much of that relationship is reciprocal. Such realizations are rarely pleasant, as they involve acknowledging your responsibility for the demon in the first place. The simplest form of such a pact is to acknowledge the presence of a demon and transform its action into something which enhances the free expression of your power rather than hindering it. An example of this process is the transformation of anger into creativity. If someone really annoys me, I am very much tempted to return retribution in the form of a curse. Now, to be effective in satisfying this desire for retribution, this curse has to be particularly horrible and devious. Any old off-the-peg curse will not suffice. So I begin to start thinking up something really ingenious and unique. What happens is that the desire for individual retribution is supplanted by the desire to create something interesting and new. When I hit upon something which, for me, is a novel perspective on magic, such as the viral servitors described in chapter 6, the original trigger here, the anger and desire to curse the person who triggered that anger, is forgotten. Instead, I focus attention on the new idea, how to integrate it within my existing magical theories in use, how to try it out and its wider applications beyond mere cursing. It is a mistake, although a tempting one, to label negative emotional responses as demonic. Your anger in a situation may be perfectly legitimate. It's the way that you express that anger that is important. For example, you could consider your tendency to suppress growing anger until you have uncontrolled outbursts as dysfunctional, and you work upon it accordingly. Redirecting and channeling the power of a demon is satisfying, as both of you are working together. At one office where I worked, one of the secretaries seemed to be particularly good at annoying me, making what I found to be asinine comments at the least appropriate moments. This tended to lead to a situation where I suppressed my annoyance until I shouted at her, whereupon she became defensive and shouted back. A situation which quickly escalated beyond the point of sanity. One morning, however, as soon as she began her tirade of remarks during a complex and intricate repair job, I took a deep breath and said, "Mary, if you don't shut up, I'm going to bang your head against your computer monitor," in a very calm, quiet, and measured voice. "That's not very nice," she replied, whereupon I said, "It's not meant to be. This is a difficult job that I am doing, and you are annoying me." The result was that she shut up, and I was able to acknowledge my anger forcefully, convey my feelings to her clearly, without becoming tense or carrying that anger around with me for the next hour or so, making my job all the more difficult. Banishing with extreme prejudice. While it is necessary to identify, know, and integrate your own personal demons, it is arguable how far you can take this process with other people. It may occur, for example, that a friend or lover is clearly harboring dysfunctional demons, be they ego demons such as jealousy or possessiveness, to more physiological demons such as alcoholism, drug addiction, or pathological violence. If someone you are having a relationship with is clearly subject to the will of a demon, such as an alcohol or heroin demon, then despite all protests to the contrary, that demon has a potentially greater influence upon them than you ever will. All addiction demons survive by demonstrating unequivocally to their host that their panacea is ultimately more reliable than anything else. When there is an emotional attachment made to another person, it is difficult to have the necessary detachment, objectivity, and cruelty to act as an effective therapist or exorcist. Thus, the admonition, banish with extreme prejudice. Get them out and keep them out. Powerful demons such as these will do anything possible to draw you into the host's behavioral patterns. It can be useful here to separate addict and demon into two entities. Banish the demon if only to make it aware that you are aware of it. We'll end it with a little bit of the personal genius. The concept of the personal genius, the creative source of power and inspiration, has been given many different masks and labels. Healers often say that the power that flows through them is from God or a particular archangel. Some magicians call this experience the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, while some psychotherapists and New Agers talk about contacting the higher self. Alright, we'll stop it there. We will be back with more Condensed Chaos tomorrow.